there is a new swimsuit 2022 cover model. So every year now, Sports Illustrated has its SI swimsuit edition. And they usually have multiple cover models. And one is sort of the woke cover model. So they'll have like a couple of actual models, and then they'll have like a transgender woman, like a biological male who has had a boob job and a bunch of surgeries and looks a lot like a female. That's what they did last year. This year, they went woke in a different way. They decided that they were going to put a rather large woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Her name is Yumi Nu, and she is, quote, shaking over the SI swimsuit cover reveal. According to the New York Post, last week, model Yumi Nu visited her agent for what she thought was a routine interview and career check-in. While she was answering questions earnestly, my agents were in on this little plan, the 25-year-old told the Post. Midway through the interview, Sports Illustrated swimsuit honcho MJ Day and other staffers from the Bikini Bible popped out with a camera crew as the cover of this year's magazine, featuring Nu, filled a nearby monitor. I was processing the surprise of it not being a real interview, and this was actually the SI cover reveal. I could not speak. I had full body chills. I was shaking. I was crying. They really got me good. So she is a plus-sized model. And by plus-size model, we mean that she is somewhat heavy. And she's not like morbidly obese, but she is also not skinny or in shape. I mean, this is a person who should, for health reasons, drop some weight. And that's just the reality of the situation, because being overweight exacerbates nearly every health problem you have. Unclear what her BMI is, so I would hesitate to estimate her BMI here, but suffice it to say that this is a person who could drop at least 20 pounds. And that's not an insult, that's just a reality. Okay, if you had a relative who looked like this, you would think that person probably needed to drop a little bit of weight, and presume there's a young, healthy 25-year-old woman. There is no reason why she couldn't drop a little bit of weight if she wanted to. But the idea here is to redefine beauty, of course. And this is what the left is all about these days, what Sports Illustrated is doing. And the idea here is that if you mention this, if you notice it, it's bad. So this is the stupid game that the left loves to play. Stupid, stupid game. What they do is they do something that is deliberately shocking and provocative. Then when you comment on it, they say, how dare you even notice? How dare you even notice? So the goal here is to change the standards of beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder, you see. It's completely subjective. It is not that there are many, many studies demonstrating that facial symmetry is a general indicator of beauty in virtually all cultures, or that there's a hip to waist ratio that is widely admired across cultures, or that there is even such a thing as sexual attractiveness more generally, which provides a very weird sort of thing for Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, because if there's no such thing as sexual attraction generally, then why have a swimsuit edition? But the notion is, of course, that we should pretend that human biological attractiveness does not exist, or that it is all culturally defined, and that if you don't find Yumi Nu as sexy as Brooklyn Decker, then that is because you are fat phobic in some way. You are a bigot in some way. And that's the reason they do this. Why else would they do it? I mean, I'm just guaranteeing you that if a dude has a choice between buying two magazines, one with Yumi Nu on the cover and one with Brooklyn Decker on the cover, that's not a question as to which magazine sells faster. Everyone knows this. The entire advertising industry is built on this. All of Hollywood is built on this. Why do you think Hollywood casts astonishingly good-looking people? What's also hilarious about sort of the way that the beauty media work here is I have to compare contrast here. So you have Yumi Nu, who is overweight, on the cover of the SI Swim. And if you mention this, it's bad. The entire purpose for putting this person on the cover is because she is overweight. But if you mention she's overweight, this means that you're bad. You're not supposed to notice. Stop noticing. Okay, so they'll put Yumi Nu on this cover. Then you'll also have Hilary Duff, who is on the cover of Women's Health. Now, Hilary Duff looks like a sort of stereotypical model beauty. Okay, she's on the cover of Women's Health magazine, totally nude. And she looks like a model. Right? I mean, there's not an ounce of fat on her. She looks like what you would imagine an airbrushed, beautiful person to look like. And the headline is, it's time to redefine strength, growth, power, and presence. Hilary Duff on her terms. And Women's Health magazine said, Hilary Duff spent years trying to live up to Hollywood's standards. Now, as she poses for the May cover of Women's Health Body Reflections, she's approaching her life and career on her own terms. She says, I'm proud of my body. I'm proud it's produced 3 children for me. I've gotten to a place of being peaceful with the changes my body has gone through. The pictures of her are immaculate. I mean, honest to God, these pictures are like, first of all, you used to have to actually buy a Playboy in order to get these sorts of pictures. Now it's just on the cover of Women's Health because women's empowerment and all of this. But beyond that, on the one hand, the idea is that Hillary Duff is violating traditional standards of beauty. Not true. On the other hand, the idea is that Yumi Nu is not violating traditional standards of beauty. Also not true. And the only reason that you can come up with is they would like to actually destroy the definition of beauty, as they've destroyed the definition of everything else. In the same way that the left pretends that all art is equivalent and that Piss Christ is a piece of art the same way that the Mona Lisa is a piece of art because art has no definition and it's all subjective interpretation, they're now doing this with things like beauty. So in a normal definition of beauty, Hillary Duff is a beautiful person and Yumi Nu is not nearly as beautiful as Hillary Duff in any sort of normal objective metric of beauty as done by a computer, for example. But if you notice this is because you're bad and a bigot. So this is why Jordan Peterson was trending. Okay, it's because he tweeted out, sorry, not beautiful. And no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that. People got very angry. How dare you say that, sir? The whole point of putting her on the cover is because you're trying to redefine beauty. That's literally what you're trying to do. And he's saying, I'm not going to let you redefine beauty to include people who are not traditionally beautiful. You want to say that she is unique looking? You want to say that she is beautiful to certain people, that certain people find this attractive? That's fine. But if you want to say that this is like beautiful the same way that kind of traditional swimsuit models are beautiful, no, again, but the game the left loves to play is just gaslighting all the way down. A man is a woman. They're like, no, that's not true. How dare you say that, sir? How dare you do that? That's bigotry. Beauty is defined as anybody up to and including Lizzo. And you're like, no, I don't think so. They're like, no. How dare you say that, sir? We're not doing it. You must be a bigot. It's all so tiresome and childish and annoying. Who's got two thumbs and wants you to like and subscribe?